Hey, what's going on, everybody? War of the Visions fans. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, or since pretty much anyone's posted any kind of War of the Visions content. I'm sorry for taking so long on this. I meant to post this early June. Um, I got sidetracked by a lot of things. Uh, and I think part of the reason too is that I wanted to post a bunch of videos in a certain order. That order is not working out. So I'm just posting this right now. It's not like a finished product or anything. It's just kind of like whatever I have, I'm going to post. So this is a little mini game that I kind of just decided to make for War of the Visions. So as you can see on the screen, we have Learte. She's kind of small looking. We'll get into that in a little bit. And we have a Leonis soldier at the bottom. I'm literally taking the assets from the game. I actually kind of modified them a little bit so that they have big heads, like chibi style. Uh, my idea was to just make a mini game for War of the Visions where you can just earn rewards. So let's get into an example of what I mean. There's other gotcha games that I've played in my gotcha career. So this one here is King of Fighters. In King of Fighters, every time there was a collab, they would have like these mini games where you would either be racing a car or a motorcycle. It was literally the same game every time, but like a different character or a different setting, right? So all you're doing in this game is you're pressing the left button to accelerate and you're pressing the right button to jump. And along the way, there's obstacles, so you're jumping over the obstacles, and there's little gas cans, and that kind of refills your meter at the top, right? So just to be clear, I didn't make this, uh, and the whole goal is to go as far as you can, and every time you get hit, you lose some of your life, and if you just miss, if you miss the gas cans, it kind of just goes down eventually, and the whole point is just to reach like 3,000 or something like that, at which point you get a reward. So taking the idea from these kind of little mini games, I kind of wanted something like that for War of the Visions. Obviously, they were not making that kind of stuff in the game, but it would have been cool just to kind of break up the monotony of always having to do battles and stuff to play like a little mini game. So here's another example. This is from Street Fighter Duel. Uh, it's essentially the same thing. You're just like, it's almost like an endless runner, and you just have to pick up a certain amount of coins. If you remember the special stage from Sonic 2, pretty much that, but it's a very simplified version of that. Again, the whole point of these mini games is to just kind of break up the action. Like you would see these during collabs, during events. And, War of the Visions did have missions that were kind of like bonus missions that you just got rewards. But it would have been nice to have something to look forward to during collabs and during events where you kind of just experience like a different kind of gameplay. All right, so that's kind of like the Sonic special stage. This one, this one was pretty interesting too. It's kind of like in the vein of Street Fighter, where you're essentially just practicing combos, like different button inputs, arrow keys, and punch button, kick buttons, depending. This one was actually kind of hard, but when I first started playing this, I thought it was so cool because it's just like, oh wow, you get to practice like these little combos, and they're kind of very similar to what you would do in actual Street Fighter. So I thought that was really cool. Would have loved to see something like this in War of the Visions. Here's another example. Basically, just a little memory game. You just go around and match the different characters. Pretty much it. And then last but not least is this one. Let me fast forward this a little bit if I can. This is probably my least favorite one because it's just you're just touching orbs on the screen and trying to get a high score. It's whatever. But I just wanted to illustrate like what these kind of mini games look like and kind of what gave me the idea for this mini game. So this mini game is the War of the Visions one where I wanted to have like a little archery game starring Learte because Learte is an archer and Learte is also a very like prominent character in the game. She's like the whimsy shop. They use her for like they used to use her for like whenever they wanted you to rate a game, the game, or I think for maintenance and things like that. So I wanted to include Learte and I wanted to be an archery game. So what I called the unofficial name of this game is Le-Archery. So all right, so let me show you how it works. Um, I kind of had different versions of this, probably, but this is probably the best one. Basically, the arrows kind of just go around, and your goal as the player is to just kind of run around like this, and then just kind of just take the time to shoot an arrow, boom, and try to hit one of the targets. Obviously my aim is not that good, but I didn't really polish this game all that well. But the goal is that you'd probably have like maybe 5 arrows and maybe see how many of the targets you can hit. And obviously I went for like the highest rarity item. So basically my idea is that you do this mini game, whatever target you hit, you get that item as the end of the mission. So I didn't really put a limit to how many arrows you have. So we can just shoot them so you guys can see. And I think this was around the time that the antlers came out that I made this. And yeah, I was having issues with it, so I never really got to bring it to the level that I wanted to. This is kind of really just like a quick little prototype. So as you can see, Learte there, she's kind of just standing idle. She's supposed to be like the host, the merchant, whatever you want to call her. And then, you know, she would do her like little pose. So what I mean by her pose is this pose right here. For some reason, I thought that was in the, like right now there's an animation playing, but I thought that was in the animation. And for whatever reason, it's just completely not in the animation. So that might be why I couldn't get it to work. But I definitely did do the animation because I have this one here. And this one on the right is actually using the 3D model. And all it is just her arms like this, kind of like the way it is in that Whimsy Shop pop-up that we always get. So yeah, that was kind of my whole idea. It's just like a little mini game hosted by Learte. That's pretty much it. The background is just fully white. I wanted to make like, if you've ever played Zelda, either Link to the Past or Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening has this crane game, and Link to the Past has like an actual archery game where it's pretty much what it inspired this. And so this one has more of like a 3D top-down perspective where I kind of just have like a face on. It's 3D, but it kind of just looks like 2D because it's face on. This one has like more of a 3D perspective. So the idea is to kind of like bring it, you know, keep working on it and to bring it to something like this. Obviously, I'm really bad at organizing my time and putting work into things. So all I have right now is just this flat version. So I want to show you guys. So when I stop the game, you can see that Learte becomes like really huge. That's what I'm saying. I messed up something in the animation and it just wasn't working. So that's probably why I stopped working on it. But nowadays I have a better idea how to fix that kind of thing. But like, I probably started doing this like 2 years ago. And whenever I ran into a problem, I just didn't know how to fix it. So I would just get stuck and give up. So, okay. So here is the same thing, but so there's two different versions of Learte. I was kind of trying to nail down the proportions. You can see one of the arms is a little bit longer than the other, and the legs are kind of like thinner on the right and kind of thicker on the left. I'm not trying to make her thick or anything like that. I'm just trying to like, kind of like that Street Fighter example where it's just like a chibi. I'm just trying to make it a chibi. And I just thought the one on the left might have looked slightly better. But as you can see at the bottom, the soldier is just a generic Leonis soldier. And so the idea would be like the soldier's just coming in for training, essentially, and Learte is training him. And as you can see, the Learte on the left shrunk. That's because the animation was applied. It's not working properly, so it's just not going to work. So this was the original version that I tried to do, but as I'm like rotating these items, you can see that the actual image is rotating too. So I kind of just scrapped this one. I went with that other version. And then I just kind of came up with like different little versions of it. So this version is, again, it's the same thing as the first version, except that the targets are meant to go off screen. They're not really going off screen. They're just going off that white area. But, you know, my idea was to fix it so that they went off screen. I think that's how it originally was in the original Link to the Past archery game, where they would just go off the screen and then cycle back to the other side. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of what I wanted to say. But I just wanted to show you guys that I have been kind of working on stuff with the 3D models from the game. And I just kind of want to show you guys the possibility of things that can be done. If you don't know, I have been working I've been teaching game design, and it's kind of allowed me to do a little bit more in terms of working with game design, programming, things like that. So I kind of like doing these like little things. Only thing is that these little demos, I guess, only thing is that I don't really have enough time. Also, part of the reason why I never showed this is because I was afraid that as soon as I showed this, like Square would send me a cease and desist order. So I kind of just wanted to have something done before I showed it. But at this point, I just want to give the disclaimer that these are not like games that are distributable. These are just like little demos. I'm not making these games. Square Enix don't come for me. But I kind of was very afraid that once I started doing this kind of thing, that Square Enix would come after me, and then I would have to stop doing them. So I kind of just took the opportunity to just make some concepts, not necessarily some demos. So I have a couple more coming up, and I'll post them when I can. But I just wanted to post this one out just to kind of post it because I know I've just been taking forever on this, and I apologize. And there's still some videos I want to do. I said I was going to do videos. There's still some videos I want to do, so those are coming. I have a few more of these little games. Hopefully you like this one, and I will post them soon. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you at some point later. Peace out.